There we go. Hello. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we've got to turn in this week. I've also got a mobile game that I worked on, which has lots of animated particle examples because a lot of people said that they wanted to see particle examples. In addition to that one, it's a little bit hard to set up, honestly, because it's a big, production game, and I don't know how to set everything up. I've got some other projects that I can open up to take a look at more simple examples as well. But let's take a look through the assignments first. So here we got for Eli a couple of Vimeo, or one Vimeo video and an Imager listing. Let's see what we got. Oh, shader graph stuff. Nice. Smoke looks really cool. Yeah, that's lots of fun. So I haven't really played around with shader graph very much yet, but obviously there's lots of cool stuff that you can do. Neat. Yeah, I like it. All right, and let's see what the image was. Oh, just the same thing, just in case the video didn't work, I guess. We're showing the shader graph layout. Cool. I have no idea what I'm looking at here. Looks really cool though. Some sort of node-based interface down there on the right-hand side. Attribute editor. Obviously a preview of the result, but yeah, I really don't know what I'm looking at. Oh, Houdini. Cool. All right. Very good. All I could say is neat. Looks good to me. Thank you. Jimmy, how's it going?
Pretty good.
Okay. So what's changed since the last time?
It says on the bottom. I basically add the day and night cycle,
Vehicle
and
smoke.
also the vehicle smoke effect and the lights to the street, and fix the rotation that you were talking about.
Okay. Let's take a look. Okay. Oh yeah. All right. So I can go up, down. It sort of looks like we're a fire extinguisher right now. For the smoke is like this thick white billow.
Yes, I'm still trying to find
Kids
something
look
that
pretty
would
good.
do some kind of air distortion instead of a flame.
Oh,
If that
distortion. Okay, distortion's a little harder. You might need a custom shader, or you might need at least a custom material for that, because distortion is caused by refraction.
okay.
And so refraction is, well, you can achieve it through at least a material, so you could have a bunch of like spheres in a material. But really, the true answer there is going to be a shader, probably, where it takes whatever is behind that thing in the scene and just shifts it a little bit to the left and right, probably with like a sine curve or something.
Right. I seen that done on the web, but I haven't played with it yet. So
Yeah. If you just want it easier for just smoke, you can have like a gray sort of semi-soft particle, and that will at least make it look like it's turned on. But yeah, distortion is way harder. I like the jets in the on each of the boosters though. I think they look okay right now. They're nice and simple.
yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah.
And let's see what else I saw. Like day and night, and I saw neon signs, and it said streaks. What was the streaks? Boom.
Street lights. They turn on and off
Oh, okay. Uh
depends on
oh,
the day of the light.
it crashed. Wow. Oh,
Probably too many stuff in the scene.
well, actually, it might have been that I was holding like Control and Shift. I might have closed the window. So one of the things about having a browser game is if you use Control and Shift too much, you can actually accidentally trigger keyboard shortcuts.
Yeah, that's definitely possible.
Yeah, so I might have done that. Oh, streetlights. There we are.
Right. So the other thing I'm still not sure about is the how. If you look at the shadow, is casting shadow from the opposite side um, the planet of the.
I don't know. I see that.
Other side of the Earth.
Is
Just
it?
wait.
Oh,
Yeah.
like when it's nighttime?
Just give wait until it's about
Oh, like here.
6 a.m. Oh, it's happening. Yeah. See how it's happening now?
Yeah. So, how are you? What is your sunlight? Like, is it just a big directional light?
Yes. This is just a big directional light.
Turn it
So
off.
there must be some setting somewhere I'm not aware of.
Well, I
And
mean,
then
if it's just a big directional light and you're rotating it, then just turn it off when it hits 180 degrees so that we don't get, or when it's a little bit lower than that, I suppose, so that we don't get the light casting upward through the world. Is that how you're
okay,
controlling your daylight, though?
it's the basically the rotation line rotates around the whole scene,
Okay.
uh, like a sphere.
And are you doing
So
that with code?
yes, I'm doing that with gold.
Okay, then just set the light intensity to 0 at a certain rotation. Like check the angle, and once it's like just a few degrees below the horizon, then check that angle should return that it's beyond the threshold, and then make the intensity 0, and then keep checking the angle. And when it comes up and it's just before the horizon, it should turn it back on.
Okay, I'll try that.
You could do that, or if you knew exactly how long a day night took, then you could use the animator and just animate the intensity as well. But if you're already doing it in code, better to do that in code.
Okay, got it.
Cool. All right, very good. Well, it looks really cool. I like it. It's fun. Just gotta watch out for the keyboard keys. And maybe when we take a look at particles today, I'll give you some ideas about what you can do.
Sounds good.
All right. And then eventually you're going to need post processing effects on this for sure. That's going to make it look really cool.
Yep, I definitely plan to do that.
Awesome. All right. Thank you. All right, Eric. Do we have Eric? I don't see Eric in the chat, but we'll take a look at this anyway. WASD movement, R for reload, shift to sprint, jump, fire, switch weapons. Oh man, there's a lot of stuff. All right. Oh, this must be some kit or something. So let's see. I can shoot a whole bunch of different weapons. Nothing seems to want to kill me right now. What is this? Am I like inside a body or something? Oh, I am. Look, that's a skull and a brain. Oh, this is neat. Phew. Well, this is cool. I don't really know what I'm doing besides just shooting stuff and running around. Looks like it's got one more, so now it's empty. Oh, and it reloaded automatically. It's out of 22. Oh, there we go. Now I don't have any more bullets on this thing. So let's see what happens if I run out. It doesn't force me to switch or anything. So this has got to be like a stomach. That's what that looks like. Okay. So I got a key. Like swallowed a wedding ring. It's a little dark. I think I just got a lot of glare in my room. Hard for me to see. Nope. I just went back the exact same way.
Are you in the intestine?
I don't know. Some sort of gooey area. Hi. Here's the brain again. Oh, I'm like out of bullets for all of those except for. Oh, this is that key. There we go. I made it. I think. There it goes. Now I'm completely out of bullets. Just gonna like smack them with my hand or something. All right. Well, it's very cool. Okay. So he doesn't really say what parts he did. I mean, I assume this is like a tutorial game or something. Oh, I didn't even see the map. Did you guys see the map while I was playing? I didn't even notice it was there until I brought the size down. Interesting. Okay. Well, that's certainly very cool. I look forward to reading the report on that. Like, what were you trying to learn from it, and how much of that was provided for you? But yeah, that's really cool. Thank you, Eric. Let's take a look at Paul. Don't see Paul over in the chat window, so let's see what this is. Okay. No info. I am not sure what to do. Okay, so I can move around with WASD. Looks like we're in like a third person view. There we go. If I run into these cards, it's like I'm a 3D man and with all these 2D things. Looks like I can pick them all up. Anything happen when I click them? No? Okay. I think it's just a more of an extension of his inventory system. Maybe I can drag them. Oh, there we go. Yeah, okay, so I can drag them. Can I drag meat onto my head? No. Can I drag an axe into my hand? Yes. Pickaxe? Yeah. How about a helmet? Can I wear the helmet on my legs? Can I put the helmet back? Oh, I can. Wow. A lot of good, functionality. There we go. Let's grab a sword and a shield. Can I? Oh, you can swap them just like that. What happened to my? Oh, I took my helmet off, right? Cool. Okay. Oh, what's that? Some kind of skull. I'll put that on my head. No. Frighten my enemies. All right. Cool. I mean, I think that this is just like a tech demo of being able to equip and unequip and have an inventory. It looks like that's stacked. Let's grab a couple pickaxes, see if they do. Okay, they don't. And I think that was by design, if I remember. The meat seems to. Oh, you can even choose whatever slot you want. Great. Okay. Seems cool. I like it. Interested to see where you're going with this, but I'll have to read it in the report. Thank you. Okay. So that was Paul's. Let's see. Now we got Robert. Robert here. Yes.
Yes.
Hello.
It's more sculpting. You might have to full screen it to see things.
Oh, yeah. Cool. So what was the progress this time?
All of it has sculpted detail on it now.
Okay. It's just a little hard to tell in this
Yeah.
movie. I'll take your word for it. I can't see it.
I can pull it up and see if and screen share it.
That'd be good.
I swear it's there.
I mean, I just can't see this distance. It's like, I believe you. So then how close to complete are you?
For modeling, I just have to add the lion head statues,
Mm-hmm.
and then I gotta figure out mesh to do the ivy, and then I'll be done.
Okay.
Well, texture on light, and then I'll be done.
Right. Okay, are you going to bring that up on your screen?
Yeah, I'm just opening it up right now.
Okay. What parts of this are things that you haven't done before?
Mash. So far nothing.
Mash. What's mash again? Oh, it's the foliage stuff, right?
Yeah, it's like it's populating stuff in a scene, but procedurally.
Right.
So you'll have a bunch of
Oh, there, I can see it now.
parameters and stuff.
Yeah, I can see it a lot better just in the ZBrush viewport window. That looks good. Oh, I like the buckets. That's fun. Oh, nice. Cool. Yeah, I mean, it looks like very reasonable, kind of like pockmarked, semi-volcanic rock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's been sitting there for a while.
Mm-hmm. All right. Any other parts of it that we should be putting our attention towards? This looks great.
No, not right now.
All right, man. Very good. I look forward to seeing it.
I look forward to finishing it.
Yeah, I bet. All right. Then going on down the list, we've got Austin. Do we have Austin? I don't see Austin here. Let's take a look at what we get. Okay. So here I am. I got a weapon. I can shoot these cubes. They disappear. That might be it. Can I reload? Nope. Can I shoot forever off into space? Whee! So it looks like a basic kind of first-person shooter control setup. Let me refresh this window because somehow I lost. Oh, is there no page? What happened? Oh, there's the page. Okay, how did I lose that? Left click to fire, Z to reset the scene. Okay, well, that's pretty simple. There we go. Yep, I can reload. So I wonder what is new here, because I thought Austin already had most of these kind of controls and interfaces under his belt, but it might be the scene reloading part that he's experimenting with. I'm not sure. A little bit more information in the description will help if you guys aren't in the call when we look at something, because I'm just left to pretty much guess if you're not here to explain it to me. But I trust that when you turn your assignment in, all that stuff will be provided. All right, very good. Okay, so that's what I've got in our list. Anybody else have something that we need to take a look at before I start demonstrating Unity particles? All good? Okay, so I'm going to show you guys the game that I worked on. I want to make you guys aware that it's available for free on iOS or Android. So it's a little hard to find if you just type in a search, but Fetch Force Q-Barks Gravity Twist. Don't ask me about the name. I didn't name it. But if you type in all of that, you'll find it, or I can just copy paste this into your chat and you can find it that way. Let's see. Game Studio. Boom. There's iOS.
0.0 rating. I like that. Perfect ratings across the board.
Well, that's because there's like 5 people that's played it. But it is a fun game. I will say that. All right. So here I've got Unity open with just a random scene with tons and tons of stuff in it. This was just the starting level. If I take all this stuff out, just to show you how the game actually works. It's a little odd in Unity because this is a cell phone game that you're intended to use the accelerometer, so you have to rotate your phone. So what happens in here is if I press the A and D keys, the screen rotates, and if I press the E or Q keys, it rotates fast. And so this is how the game would be controlled. So you collect all the carrots, it opens the door, you get one little bonus thing after the door is open if you want to go for it. Sometimes it's in a hard place. And then you finish by hitting this little portal. It's not displaying properly right now, but each one of them is timed, and it tracks how much stuff you collected, and then you get 3 or 2 or 1 stars for that. And we've also got like these booster things. Eventually it was going to be monetized, but they took all that out, so now they're just kind of provided for you. And there you go. That's the basic gameplay. So as you go on, there's more and more hazards like active enemies and obstacles that will hurt or kill you and stuff like that. And then there's a bunch of zones with different art in the background. Cool. So if I turn this stuff back on, then we can look at some of the animations and particles. I'm just going to turn everything on to see how much of it works properly. Just right away. Okay, a bunch of it. So you can see there's a very simple particle effect for the ending portal there, where these are just squares changing colors. The little data glyphs around the carrots, those are all particles. The rotating things are not. Uh-oh, I'm going to die. Yep, I got killed. There's a thing that was coming to kill me. The little rotating things are not particles. Those are just animations. I died. I keep dying because I put everything in this hole. These things being shot out of here, those are particles. It's just ejecting those at a very steady rate. Maybe I shouldn't have put every single enemy in one level, like all together. There. Okay. So those are all particles being shot out. This little guy over here, he is shooting out several different kinds of particles. Unfortunately, they're misaligned, and I don't know how I did that wrong. So they're misaligned right now. They're meant to go from his gun to a point, and I bet I just don't know how to set those locations because it travels across the screen and then splats in the opposite side. The charging guy up here, I don't think he has particles, but let's... Whoops, I hit the wrong side of him. I'm very bad at this. Ah! I am going to take things out of the level because I'm so bad at this. Okay, get out of here. Shooter guy, you leave too. Following thing, you get out of here. Okay, so that'll at least keep me from dying quite so much. Alright, the pushing guy, that's what this guy does. He just kind of like shoves the character. You can actually see the character has particles all around him in the back of his head. If you go really fast, then he trails these little flecks, and hovering nearby him is this sort of cloud the entire time. Oh, yeah, he's got particles coming out of the bottom booster down there. But I think that's it for him. He's got some backpack thing as well. And I believe that this thing explodes. So let's go try that. Okay, that explosion was not the right size, but whatever. I have like no idea how to set up anything in this. I just made all of the animations. Let me see if I can find a couple more. There's one in particular that I really like. Well, there's a couple. So there's this point-to-point portal, which is a pretty cool one. Let's put that in the base level. So, yeah, I'm not supposed to move that part. But these are like a teleporter. So this is one side of it. This is the other side. When it activates, you'll see that there's a pretty big particle system with that. What else? There's bumpers. I think there was... there we go. The sticky wall is a fun one. Let me turn off that mine. Because this sticky wall is electrified. And so it's got a cool animation that goes across it. I think... Do I remember how to set this up? I think I was supposed to be able to just scale the thing. But now I'm forgetting everything. Oh wait, no, I remember. In the script, there was a resize. Oh, there we go. It can resize like that. I actually set that up. It's just so long ago that I can't remember what it was that I set up. But that thing's fun. It should have some good special effects on it. Play. Okay. So now you've got a portal over here, portal over there. This thing, that electricity effect going across it, that is particles. It's just a very carefully controlled particle effect that is going ping-ponging back and forth at a tightly controlled interval with sprites that I painted. Let's see. Here we go. Whee! Oh, and I killed myself on this guy when I came over. Bzzz. Get stuck to it.
How is the background being done?
The background is just an art piece of its own, where the space... well, let's stop it and go look. So, background camera... Oh, man. Okay, here it is. There's the prefab. Let's go in there. So this is the 2D. The background prefab. And I should have an animator on here. Oh, maybe I... Yeah, there we go. So this is a particle effect with just big chunks of rock that I blurred. So we had two different sprite sheets, one with everything blurred and one without. And it just turned out to be the easiest way to do it. But there's an emitter over here that's spitting out like one rock with some probability every second. So the lifetime of these is about 15 seconds for it to go from spawning all the way off there. The emission rate, there we go, 1, right? 1 per second. The shape of it's just an edge. We've just got a little small edge so that it can spawn a little higher, a little lower to give it a slightly more random look. Force over lifetime, so I have three different graphs for force over lifetime. There's no Y force, no Z force, there's only an X force, and that's what's giving it that curved shape. So initially when it spawned, it has a semi-hard vertical force in X, and then it slows down, and then it goes back up again. So there's a little upward bend, then down, then up, and then it just kills it by that point.
Oh, cool. What about how did you get it to look fuzzy like that?
I just blurred the art so that if I
Okay.
come down to the texture sheet, we can go select, where is it? Here's the texture sheet right here. Background asteroid big 1. So let's see, assets, art, background, there. Okay, so this one, I believe, is the blurry one. And this one, no, which one's the sharp one? Oh, you know what? They're all in the background, so they're all blurry. I don't know why I thought I had a sharp one. Just because I remember painting a sharp one, I think. So they're all just kind of like different levels of blurriness, and the small ones right here that are like thrown out from certain collisions and things. So yeah.
I see. Cool.
And this is a sprite sheet for those background elements. So there's Planet 1. In a different zone, we have some comets. Or actually, there are comets in there. So it's very rare for the comets to spawn. They have a probability. Let's see, emission. So in this case, the rate is 0 because we don't want to spit out comets as a guaranteed thing. Instead, we have bursts. So at time 0, as in right away, we have a single burst that cycles infinitely at an interval of 2 seconds with 75% probability. Then 2 seconds later, we have two bursts or two particles at an interval of 3 seconds. They cycle infinitely with a 50% probability. So both of those together give a semi-random kind of effect where we don't quite know how many comets are going to streak across the background at any given time. But the emitter is up here and just angled down at a 45-degree angle. And if I manage to pause it, you can see that's just what the particle is. Just a drawing.
Cool.
Yeah. And I think there are some random speeds. So between 70 and 100 units. So sometimes they go a little faster or a little slower. The size is not random at all. I'm actually surprised about that. I thought I made that random. But I guess I did. Size by speed. Oh, there we go. So that means that since the speed is variable, 70 to 100, this graph controls the size of the particle depending on how fast it's going. So I've got a inverse relationship between the speed and the size. So if you're going at the slow side, then you're the biggest particle. If you're on the fast side, then you're the smallest particle. So if you watch them carefully, that means that when you see, there we go, like a little tiny one, it goes streaking past really quick, and a much bigger one goes slower. There we go, we saw 3, where the biggest one was lagging behind the other 2. So you can do all sorts of cool stuff with the particle settings like that. In this project in particular, I'm using a lot of texture sheet animation stuff. There's a couple different modes for that. You can use the entire grid, or you can load individual sprites. This one, since it's based on this texture sheet, has to use individual sprites. But the one that was shooting out asteroids, I think this one is actually garbage left over in here. This is the correct one because it's on a grid. This is the one that is spawning asteroids in that never-ending procession. You can use the entire grid because it's just picking any one of those 16. There we go. And I've got rocks in the front here and rocks in the back there so that they layer up to create a more three-dimensional effect.
Did you have to do any post-processing at all?
I don't remember anymore. I think it was our goal to not do any because we wanted it to be a very light mobile game that would be easy to download and run. But a little post-processing wouldn't have hurt. I just don't remember, and I don't think I was in charge of that. I think someone else had the final say on that part. Generally, we just tried to cover it with good painting and color choice.
Nice.
Yeah, thank you. If I go, I think, are these prefabs? Nope, that's just PNG. So I can go find all the background prefabs because they're actually pretty great. If I can remember how to navigate this. Levels? Is that where they are? Well, let's hope. Yeah, okay, here we go. So there's the walls. There's background for zone 1. Here's zone 2. Okay. So zone 2 is like this underground mine thing. You know what I really should do? I should just open the scene and play one of each of these because that would probably be a better way to show it. Let me find that because then we could look through the prefabs if you want to know. So world 2, just pick a random one. There we go. So in this level, there are some floating rocks in the background and some flickering lamps. The lamp flickering is just a gradient sphere that is set to a certain blending mode that I just animated on and off. And there should have been minecarts coming through, but I don't see them. Where are the minecarts? Huh. Well, there was a big procession of minecarts last time I saw this functional, where they were floating constantly in the background. Bzz, I got killed. Maybe I could solve that if I look into it and see if they were turned off or something. So background, base level. Um, Walls, platforms, obstacles. Background camera. I don't think that's it. Man, I really do not know how to navigate this at all. Don't know. What if I just click on it? Oh, there it is. Okay, camera group, background sprites, zone 2. Let's see. Sprites, edges, rock formation. I don't know. I think it's deleted out for some reason. But yeah, there were a bunch of minecarts that came by in the background. Kind of weird.
How many people work on this? How long did it take?
It took about a year, and it was me and 4 students on the art team. And then there were about 3 different programmers and producer, and the producer doubled up on sound engineering.
How's it going with the downloads? Do you guys see that at all or from the store?
Downloads? Oh, like how many people? I only see the reviews. Like I don't have access to that. Like I could ask how many people have downloaded and played it, but I have no clue. I see 14 people have reviewed it here and 5 have reviewed it over on iOS. I don't know. We never advertised or anything, so that's all gravy. They were doing it as their senior thesis project, and then just decided to completely finish it and sell it. But by that point, they had other contract work, and so they decided to put this one out for free.
I see.
Yeah. So I can at least hit play. So the whole zone has a cycle. I can hit play here so that everything animates properly, and you can kind of get a closer up look. Just things bouncing up and down in the background, flickering on and off. But I wonder. Oh, there's the minecarts. Okay. Well, where were you? Minecarts. Now I see you. That's weird. In the actual level, they weren't showing
What
up.
happened to the tracks?
Oh, they're floating minecarts. It's all space, so they're floating minecarts. Yeah. Okay. Kind of weird that I couldn't see them at all in the level itself. I bet it's just a glitch that nobody ever fixed. All right, let's see. Let's go to World 3. World 3 has a cool effect of being inside a ship. Hopefully it'll still work. Now I'm not sure it will. There we go. So there's some big windows in the background, and the whole ship has this sort of ambient movement. And then you can see like little fleets and stuff going by way out there in the background. I was really happy with how that effect turned out. But yeah, all that stuff back there, basically, it's all particles or individual sprites that are being animated in sort of an ambient motion. If I click, there we go. You can go into that prefab, and you can kind of see in the background here, like I'll hit the play animation, but I think that's just going to move, yeah, the biggest couple of them and the level ambient motion. You won't see any of the particles. Okay, but asteroid, planet, sky. Where are my particles? Oh, okay, here we go. Small ship. Nope, that's a sprite runner. Here we go. There's all the smallest ships. So it's essentially just taking the largest part of these as a particle and just sending them out in a never-ending procession. So you have like this fleet going by. There we go. And let's see the last zone. Or we actually did 2 more other than that, but I don't think it made it into the final release. There we go. So this one's like a big space anomaly. Way out there in the background. And so it's got like these like comets streaking towards it and this really cool data tape thing that we figured out how to do. The data tape is a combination of a spline editor and a particle emitter and some scrolling textures. And that was really hard to figure out, but we finally did. And then there's just like,
It looks really cool.
yeah, I love how that one turned out too. So then we have just kind of bouncing stuff in the background. We got this duplicate main character, Cubark, that if you hit it, then it destroys you because it's like negative, like antimatter Cubark. So if I go, whoop, there we go. So now if I touch him,
Did you guys use any framework to build this, or is it all from scratch?
all from scratch. They tried to use a framework for the audio, but it ended up being like really cumbersome, and so we all kind of wanted to remove it after a while. But yeah, no, we just built everything from scratch.
Wow.
Yeah. Sometimes it's just easier that way, you know. It's the background. Background. There we go. It's a little weird to go through a project where you did not assemble it. Like, I made a lot of this stuff, but I never put it together. And so I'm really confused as to how things work as I'm clicking around it here. Let's see. Okay, that's one. Trying to think, like, where are all the things that I can actually click on? I know those are the splines. Here's the data, but that's not the drifting stuff. Man, it's been so long. I don't remember how any of this was set up, really. Okay, at least there's an animator. Okay, that's all the floating ambient stuff. Well, cool. Let me see. There might be some other stuff I could show in here somewhere. Well, I know that at least on the player, there's definitely a particle system for him. If I close his body, body spring, body hinge, where... Okay, so I've got this one as a field. So this one, when the character moves around, this one kind of hugs the character. It doesn't lag behind. And this other one lags behind. So I've got these two that are just a colored ball. And so together, they kind of just make a sort of like nebula just behind the character. The reason why these ones trail behind is because they're set to simulation space world. So that means wherever they appear, they have a world position. So if your emitter, in this case the guy's head, keeps moving, then they stay right where they are and keep doing their ambient animation. Whereas this one, well, that one does say it's world also, but that one doesn't lag behind, so why not? Scaling mode local, emitter velocity. Oh, this is why. Emitter velocity rigid body. Well, they both have that. I thought it was the change from world space to local space, but I guess it's not. Well, now I know. I don't know why this one stays behind, but I think that what we tried to do at one point was to allow this one to be world space, but take its initial velocity from the rigid body, as in the character. That way it would stick very close to the character, but if you stopped suddenly, then it would kind of splat out in front of him or something. But it all seems to work out, so I'm not really sure what the difference is now. Fire system. What was that? Okay, I can light him on fire, apparently. I don't even remember putting use to that. Interesting. Turn that back off. All right. Let's see. This guy doesn't have any particles. Oh, okay. Yeah, the sticky wall. That one has a good one. All right, let's see. Where's the particle lightning? Okay. And particle zap. So when the character is electrocuted, this one activates. When the thing is just idling, this one is active all the time. But if I make the length longer, here we go, then the lightning stretches across that entire distance. So let's see. We've got a very tightly controlled size and color. The emission rate over time, 5 over time, the shape. I think it's that in code, in the editor, I'm using one number to resize not just the size of the sprite, but also the radius of this edge, which is why both things rescale at the same time. So if I change this length to anything, let's say like 8.72, the sprite, which is the electromagnet, I think there was some math involved. Right now it says 10.72, but I know that it matches up properly. So that 0.72, yeah, it must have 3 extra. And then the particle lightning should be exactly, that's one more. 8.72? Wait, what did I set it to? Oh, no, that one's exact, yeah. So in code, I have that feeding both of those things live so that we'll get the exact right distance for this electromagnet. What the particles are actually doing are just several different sprites that I drew to look like they were wrapping around properly. And they're spaced out like this in this ping-ponging fashion so that they look like they crawl across the surface. I really should have increased the speed when it gets bigger, though. So here we've got shape, edge, and then mode, ping-pong. So if we did mode loop, it goes from one side to the other, so it looks like it's wrapping around like a barber pole. If we do mode random, we never know where the lightning's going to occur, but if we increase the rate a lot, then it would probably be pretty nice.
I know the song goes behind the item. The song goes in front of the item.
I don't think it does. I think it's just how I drew it. Like, I know it looks like that, but I think it's how I drew the lightning. Let's go see the sprite sheet. Okay, so here.
Oh, I think it's just lighter. That's
Yeah, so imagine, let me see, here we go. Imagine that there's a tube going straight through the middle of all these sprites. See right there where it's cut off? That looks like it's going in front, then behind. This one looks like it's coming from behind and then back to the side. So it's just the way that I drew the lightning sprite. And then carefully lined it up and sized it to make sure that it would work properly. Yeah, the lightness and darkness, that's random also.
How did you guys collaborate on the project? Did you use a Unity collaboration? Or?
No, we used, what was it called? Oh, yeah, we used a tool that was for, fetching code bases from remote and then committing your changes. But it wasn't like Git Kraken or anything like that. It was another one. What's the name?
I think it's called
Source tree?
Source Tree.
No, we used another one. It was a weirder one. I'm looking through my programs list to see if I can find it. Plastic. We used Plastic. Plastic SCM, Source Control Management. That's it. So yeah, basically it works just like Source Tree or Git Kraken or whatever, that you make your changes and you push them, or you pull new changes. In general, the art team kind of went through me, where I was doing a lot of the actual implementation into the prefabs. And then once I had them in a prefab, that was it. I just told the level designers and programmers that that was the case, and they put it into the actual game. So our domains were fairly separate, so it was pretty easy most of the time. But every now and then I had to do something like this one to give a tool to make it both look and function correctly, so that everything worked out. This, by the way, this little thing, I don't know why, Unity doesn't have a default soft glow particle. I strongly recommend making an image exactly like this one and then just using it forever. I use it for everything. It's good for sparks, it's good for like dust particles, it's good for a whole bunch of stuff. I don't know why they don't have one. There's the sprite sheet for the lightning. Black and white is good for emissive particles that are going to glow. This one's the one that activates when you hit stuff. This one is the explosion sheet. Let me go into the sprite editor. You can see them a little bit better if I do this. Some little poofs of smoke and some illuminated balls. Like that. Let's see what else we got here. These are the things that the shooter enemy fires. The two on the bottom look the same, but they're slightly different, so if they rapidly swap back and forth, it looks like the thing's swimming through air. Then we've got one impact, this, and then I just use my soft glow. It turned green for any little bits when it impacts to shoot off from that surface. These are the impact icons for when there's a biter enemy, this one, when he's chomping his teeth, and I think we use it for a couple other things in the game as well. Some shards of ice, all the pieces that put together some of the other characters, a little drill, some bumpers and a door. Here's all the robot parts that make up 2 or 3 of the robots. All sorts of stuff in here. Yeah. Bet I could find, let me see, prefab, enemy, this one. So here's the blast that when this hits something, I bet you there's an animation here. Yeah, there we go. So spawn is just that. Okay. So right when the thing fires, the muzzle is here. This appears and then exits like that, and then it became an actual object. So this is not the bolt, but the bolt is spawned right on top of that, and so it heads off. Or maybe, no, maybe this does become the bolt. So here's flying, mid-flight, and then hit. So there, it's just turning itself off, but there's also this splash that is turned on. Oh, I think I just used the same, yeah, I just used the same in-flight thing. So it hits the wall and then shoots all these out. Restart. There we go. Just once. So you can do that sometimes, like the method of activation here is just that it becomes enabled. So you can see at the start of the animation clip it's disabled. And then here it gets turned on while that gets turned off. And since this is set to, I believe, play when it's activated, let's see, where is that? Local, rigid body, disabled. I believe there's a setting here somewhere that just says like play as soon as you're able to play. Duration of 3, it's not looping, it's not pre-warm. Oh, play on awake, there it is. So since that's active, all you have to do is turn this thing on and off to make it activate when the game is playing. So if you even turned it back off again and then back on, it would do another splash. So in this case, there's no emission rate over time. It's just 12 of those with 100% probability in a shape of a semicircle. Pew, pew, pew. So just activate it at the correct time during this clip. They also have collision. So sometimes I like to do this where if those bits hit another solid thing, it kills them. So with this collision active to the world, we have, well, it doesn't matter what bounce is because lifetime loss is 1. So when it hits something, it's going to kill 100% of its lifetime. So that's a nice feature. Sometimes you could set it to bounce instead, like for shell casings. Do you guys have any questions about particles and things? Like I'm just kind of going all over the place.
No, it's just pretty cool to look at because I remember one of my friends was part of this project, so it's really cool seeing it behind the scenes of it.
Yeah. Yeah, we both learned a whole lot about particle systems and special effects animation from this because there's so many different environments in it. A bunch of stuff that never even made the game too. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't know how many other particle systems were. I know that he made this one. Let me see what the particles were doing here. We had that, which is pretty cool. Some data and some rotating balls. Okay, so all three together. There we go. We've got this almost Venn generator kind of effect.
Oh, that's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah, so I didn't make this one. My assistant Colin made this one. Yeah, I like it. And also, I don't think I made the gas one either. Let's see what that... Oh, that's just like... It's just a ball. I actually don't know what that's used for. I don't remember any poisoning effect or anything like that. We have a tumbleweed. Icicles. Yeah, there's like an ice zone and a desert zone. And I don't see any levels for those, so I guess they're not in the game. Let's see. Zone 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, wait, we do have 5 and 6, so maybe I can find them. Ah, these are just walls. And 6? Yeah, those are just walls. So I'd have to find levels for those, and I don't think they exist. Ooh, background? Oh, the background does. There we go. So for this one, it was like a desert where you're floating on the side of cliffs. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. I don't think there are any particles, though. Yeah. As far as I can recall. Yeah, I'll just sprite animation. And then 6. Now this one I know has particles. And I don't think it has any background. Wait, does it have background? No, it doesn't have any animation. I don't even know why it has that attribute. Wait, what's going on there? There we go. Fog. So this one is just that singular soft blob, but set to additive, so that they become this kind of rolling fog in the background down there. Yeah, works. Nice and simple, that one. So when I'm talking about like the blending mode, usually I'm referring to in the renderer the kind of material that is applied to them. Also the rendering mode. So the rendering mode for most sprites needs to be billboard, which means just face towards the camera. Sometimes not. Sometimes you want it to be something else. But then the material is what will affect the way that it renders in general. That and the start color, whether or not there's transparency, color over time, color over lifetime, or color by speed, all of those change it a little bit. Cool. Well, hopefully it's cool. I seem to remember that a mechanic in this zone was like a whiteout blizzard, but I don't know if we ever implemented that. It looks like some sort of satellite or something in the background.
Hey Taper, I have a question real quick.
Yo.
While you're doing this, I'm working on my game in Unity, and I just had a boo-boo.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem I can press Control Z to undo because this is a thing within the project folder.
Did you delete something out of the project folder?
I fucked up a prefab that I literally spent all day working on this mechanic to make the haha, but also I didn't save for like the last 2 hours. Haha.
Well,
I broke a prefab. Haha. And so do I just have to do all this work again?
Well, how did you break it? Because like, if I went into this prefab and just changed things, I could just change them back.
Okay, so what happened is this. So I took it from the hierarchy, dragged it was just say it's like a random 3D object. It's a potion object. It has a trigger on it and a couple collider invisible objects on it.
Sure.
I took that. It has some scripts on it. I took that, dragged it into the assets folder down there.
Yeah.
Then when I went to instantiate that prefab into my scene using a respawn, it took that prefab, instantiated it correctly. I was like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
I went to go pick it up, and the scripts that made the first object work weren't on that one. So I went to drag the scripts onto it.
Yeah.
And I dragged it incorrectly, and it said, you want to replace the stuff in this prefab? And I said, sure. And I just, boom. And then everything's gone.
So all the contents were changed.
Yeah.
In your scene, like if I exit this, I've got a bunch of prefabs in here. In your scene, if you just click on that prefab and you come over to this menu, prefab, open, select, is there a revert button? There is?
Yeah.
If you hit that revert button, it should change it back to how you had it before you did that then. Because usually when you make external changes to any prefab, it'll put this little plus icon if you added something, or if you just changed it, there'll be a revert button.
Okay, so I'm clicking revert, and it's not.
So then
nothing
you hit the little right-facing arrow in that prefab that you're worried about, and see if everything inside of it looks normal again.
No, the stuff is still replaced with text boxes or with scripts that say text
Damn.
on them.
Then I'm afraid you're screwed.
Yeah. See, because what happened was I was gonna have this turned in today, and because the potion was giving me issues, I was like, no, I'll just have it done during class, and then submit it. I was just about to fucking finalize this
Because like
and tell you, hey, I'm done.
I could do potentially something like this. Like here's this zone 4 background, right? I could potentially, and this isn't the mastered copy of the game, so I'm only a little nervous doing this, like delete out Comet A, and now it's saying, hey, do you want to open the prefab? Well, no. I just want to delete out Comet A as an example and then revert this thing, but it's not going to allow me. Did you get some warning like this?
Yeah, I got a warning that said, do you want to replace the contents of this prefab? And then it said, okay, do it or cancel. And what I thought it was saying was that I can replace the fact that there's no scripts on it. And what it meant was completely replace the contents of the prefab with these two objects.
It's weird because I've never seen that message before. I'm not sure how you got it. Because if I try to drag something onto a prefab, it just adds it inside of it and puts this little plus icon. And at that point, I can just delete it out and it shouldn't complain. Or, let me undo, I should be able to grab this and go to that override section and say revert, and it shows me what the changes are. Right? So that's what I'm used to prefabs doing. What you're describing, I'm not entirely sure why it's doing that.
Okay, so it might be the version I'm on. I'm on 2018.1.8. You're on Unity 2019. It might be a version difference.
Maybe.
I don't know, but
there were some changes in the way that they handle assets, but I don't remember ever seeing that particular message. Like, do you want to replace all the contents of this prefab? Like, that's a pretty odd one.
I'll walk you. Are you able to create 3D objects in this, or is this 2D?
Yeah, I can create 3D objects.
Okay, right click, just create like an orb or something.
I'll just make a new scene.
Okay, for sure.
All right.
Just create like an orb.
Okay.
Like anything, like any 3D object.
Well, there's a cube.
Make that, like drag that from the hierarchy into down there, and then make it a prefab.
Okay.
Then take some other object, like create some other object in there.
Okay.
And then drag that the name of that onto
the cube.
The cube prefab.
Are you sure you want to replace the contents of the prefab cube?
And then so because I was dragging scripts onto it was scripts
right
onto that, I was thinking, oh, it's just gonna add the scripts in. If you press go ahead, it's gonna erase that cube from existence.
Yes, it will.
Undo it.
Yep.
And so that's what I did.
Okay, yeah, you're screwed.
Oh, okay.
Don't
Fine.
don't do that.
I'll-
If what you wanted really is to replace what was inside this prefab, here's what you do. Copy this, like Control C, right? Double click your prefab, Control V. That's what you do. Right? I pasted this object inside of this now.
God,
So you,
Okay,
you
so
don't
I-
just
I-
drag
I-
onto an existing one.
you made it literally so easy in like a single second. You're like, oh, just double click it. No big deal.
To open the
I just,
prefab,
I
yeah.
just ruined all day's work.
Yeah.
It's all good though.
There's another way to open existing prefabs. Like if I want to go back now, but it's giving me shit about it. I'm just going to open a new scene again. Yep, don't save. If you have... Hello? Is it doing
I
it?
think your Unity might have crashed.
I might have, yeah. It didn't like that. It really hated that.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to break your stuff.
No, it's fine. I was just going to point out that all the prefabs are blue, and they've got this right-facing arrow. If you click that, you go inside a prefab where you can do any edits that you want also. So what you were doing, like dragging something onto an existing prefab, don't ever do that. In fact, they shouldn't allow you to do that. I'm surprised they did. But yeah, I think I just crashed Unity.
There's some kind of nesting. It says on the bottom left.
Yeah, argument exception, cyclical nesting detected, and now nothing's responding. So, whoops.
I mean, the cube ended up
Is
in
it-
the sphere somehow.
I don't know.
Is it okay if, because I have my deadline set for tonight, if I keep working on it and I happen to get it fixed by like tonight, can I still get that submitted?
Yeah.
Tonight.
There's not like a late penalty or anything. I just want you guys communicating to me. So you've
don't-
told me plenty. Do your thing.
Okay.
So if
I
you
just
get it
wanted
in
to
today,
know-
it's great.
Cool. Good then. Okay, fine. Thank you.
Cool. All right. I think that's the end of it because I crashed it. Any other questions, you guys, about like particles or anything? Cool. All right, you guys. Thank you very much. I'm going to go ahead and stop.